What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone. And Giuntoli has apparently 0% of staying at the club for the coming transfer window, not just next season, the transfer window. That is from Monblano. And I know people will say, again with Monblano. However, the stories coming out from basically every media outlet suggests that Giuntoli is, well, very, very close to being removed by Alcon, and a lot of changes are coming. That being said, the transfers is one thing, the coach is another thing. And I have a lot of things to say, but at the end of the day, the coaching thing is on Alcon. And right now, we are all over the place. If it's Conte or it's Tudor, either way, right now, it's looking shaky. It's looking very, very random. Like there's no real structure, no real belief, and no real plan to it. So before we get into it, smash the like button because I have a lot to discuss. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let's talk about Giuntoli. Well, close to being quote unquote sacked by Alcon. Okay, so like I said, Monblano said 0% that Giuntoli is staying. He will be removed by Alcon. Before Monblano spoke, there are tons of reports out there suggesting that Alcon is ready to make a lot of changes. And one of those changes could be Giuntoli because he is assessing everything. That's what the reports are saying, that he's looking at the situation. He's like, this is not solely on Thiago Motta. A lot of things went wrong. He not himself, not just Giuntoli, but also Scanavino. He could be removed because apparently Alcon is also not, excited with the work he has done, with the presence of the club in the media and all those things. Like, he's not a fan of what's happening at this club right now. And there are a lot of names out there from Comoli. I think he's at Toulouse. He worked. I think he worked for Tottenham as well, or Arsenal. Maybe both. I think both, to be honest. I don't know much of him. I'm not gonna lie. But if he comes in, he's somebody who will take on a more I will talk to the media type of role, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. He is a guy who has a vision, and always persist with his vision, and his idea. Maybe something we need as a club, because right now, from Thiago Motta to sacking him halfway through the season or past halfway through the season to Tudor, there's no clear vision, nor does anyone believe in the vision they actually set up at the start of the season. So that could be one of the changes. Another change could be that Tognozzi comes back, the scout. He will be still scouting, but he will get a more management type of role. He is close to coming back with somebody he knows very well as well. And then there are rumors about Maldini potentially, Masara potentially. So a lot of names, and it's getting more and more and more, and it's getting, it looks worse and worse and worse for Giuntoli at this moment in time. Now, on that, before I go to the coaching thing, it's already a mess. If you're Alcon, and I'm being that serious right now, I wouldn't sack Giuntoli now, because how are you, or like, how can anyone, I can, strongly believe that we will have a strong transfer window when you're sacking the guy who's in charge of the transfer window and bringing in the new one when the transfer window is kicking off? Talks with a lot of players and agents have already taken place with contract extensions. Now we need to start all over again. How is that a very smart idea? That looks and that sounds ridiculous. Remember when Giuntoli came in the first season? It was July. He didn't do anything. He couldn't. Like, it was basically too late. He got Timothée Weah on a free, basically, and that was about it. He just tweaks things here and there because there's no time to start talk with agents again, because those agents moved on. If an agent is talking with Juve right now, and a new guy comes in, you need to start negotiating again, because the new guy maybe has different terms, a different vision, a different view of finances, and all those things. It changes a lot. So that in itself is just a mess. Now, if you go to the coaching one, like I said a couple of days ago, or maybe yesterday, if it's going to be Conte or not, you can only be certain actually if he's at the Continassa at this moment in time. Because the reports are out there, they change every 5 minutes. Even if there's a here we go, the moment I'm speaking, and yes, it's pre-recorded, so there could be a here we go, you can still not take it to the bank right now. You just can't. You just can't, because the reports are all over the place. From Di Marzio saying it's heading to a divorce, to now him saying, actually, Conte is thinking about it. To Sky saying it's not certain he's going to leave. And to Bedula saying he wants to join Juve. The issue is right now timing, with the Club World Cup and all those things. It's all about timing. However, De Laurentiis also wants to secure Allegri. So one source is saying that. The other source is saying the complete opposite, Like, for example, Di Marzio with Jonathan David saying, hey, the club is very optimistic. And then every single source out there saying, actually, there have not been held any real talks. And Napoli's still in a firm lead for that player. So you can go on one type of news and be pissed about it and confused. And then the other type of news is like, well, it's a complete opposite. All I have to say on that right now is that if you miss out on Conte, and again, I want to talk about who I want if I know Tudor is going to leave for certain. That is my point. But if you're the club and you only want Conte and you fail to get Conte, it's a throwaway season coming up. Because you clearly, as a club, do not believe in Tudor. You made that abundantly clear, 100% clear, by keep saying, we will see after the Club World Cup. You don't need to see the damn Club World Cup if you believe in Tudor. Nobody cares about the Club World Cup. Absolutely nobody. You can act as a club. You can try to sell the fans that. Nobody is falling for that. That is not going to change anyone. And to top it off as well, Tudor, post-game, made it very clear that he knows the club is not believing in him 100%, because he said, if you don't confirm me, I'm not going. He backtracked it as well, which is also a point. You're going into the new season, if it's Tudor, with a coach knowing that you guys actually didn't want me here. That's one. And as a fan, I'm sitting there with the idea of, well, that coach called out the club and he didn't even have the full-time job, and it's already kicked off. How is that a good base for a very good season again? That makes no sense. So if you're Alcon, you better make it happen with Conte, because you put all your eggs in that basket. You cannot go back to Tudor right now. Like, you can go back, and they will go back to Tudor if it's not going to be Conte. But every single damn person on this planet, and especially Tudor, knows he wasn't that guy. You made that clear. He made that clear as well post-game. So whatever is happening, it feels completely off. By bringing Tudor to the Club World Cup, you complicated things for Conte. Like I said a couple of days ago and right now, because Conte cannot sit there and wait. What is he going to do? Sit there and wait until the Club World Cup is over? That's ridiculous. The only thing you can do is announce him and tell Tudor, well, you need to coach a Club World Cup. And I'm like, why do that? Let him go. Like he said, just let him walk free, like a free man. Why would you do that? Like, what type of motivation does he have at the Club World Cup? Apparently, you care as a club. You tell us you care as a club. So, however things are going, it is a mess. If you wanted Giuntoli out, that should have been made. That decision should have been made months ago. Maybe that decision had been made months ago, but it should have been announced by now already. Because the new guy should have been in place and should be at work. Conte should be knowing, everybody should be knowing what the hell is going to happen at the club. Why are you making changes in the summer smack on transfer window? Period. It makes absolutely no sense. And I'm actually starting to worry very much. Very, very much. Because does anyone know who's going to do the transfer? Who's actually in control? What is the idea? Can anyone tell me what the clear vision of this club at this moment in time is right now? I don't know. You can give me one, and the next person in the comment give me another one, and the third person can give me another one, and I can say, well, you can all be right. Because there is no clear vision right now. It's not obvious what the plan is. And that, for me, is extremely worrying. If the plan was Tudor and they were convinced, I'm not a big Tudor fan, but I'm like, at least you are quote-unquote convinced about your idea and you're moving forward with that idea. But then again, they had that with Thiago Motta, and they threw him under the bus, basically, and said we have nothing to do with it, basically, So I cannot even trust that. But there's no clear vision right now, and that is extremely, extremely worrying, because the rumors out there, you can say they're all rumors, but there's so many, and many of them are all saying or suggesting the same thing. There is some truth to it. There is some truth to it. It's just who the hell is going to pull the trigger, and the domino effect is going to happen. When is it going to happen? Is it too late? Is Conte going to say, I'm not waiting. I'm just taking this. I'm staying in Napoli. I get the money. I get the transfers. I have my team. Why would I do this all over again? Start mid-season. Like, it's a mess. Anyways, let me know in the comments. Do you think Giuntoli will be sacked now? And do you believe it's the right idea to do that and bring a new guy in when transfer window is already basically open and he needs to start all over again? And what do you think about the entire coaching situation as well? Thanks for watching. Tomorrow, live show. Keep, sell, loan, get rid. We're going to go through the entire squad together during a live show, and we will discuss what I and you guys would do with the players we have in the squad and returning on from loan as well. So that's for tomorrow. I'll speak to you then. Ciao.